What up, Nitro Nation? You are looking at Team Techno. Team Techno is in the house. What up, people? Welcome all Muggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, Monster Truck Maniacs, and the 5th scale Insaniacs. Okay? I mean, you got anywhere from a 32 to a 90 cc, and I'm waiting for somebody to come out with 100. Let's just make it a 125 cc 2-stroke engine, and we're gonna throw that bitch in a 5th scale, like a 5T or whatever. No hybrid shit. Okay, I'm talking 4-wheel drive, all titanium, diffs, gearboxes, everything, man. Drive shafts, the whole thing would have to be titanium to handle that power. But I was talking to Elite RC just the other day. By the way, shout out to my brother from another mother, my Nitro brat brother, Elite RC. Okay, I was talking about that, what I just said, and he's like, man, I said, can you imagine that? 45 horsepower coming out of a 5th scale? I don't know. I don't know if they can build any gearboxes to handle that. Or I don't even know where it'd be safe to run it. You'd have to, like, run it, you know, like on a Air Force base or some giant open vacant field. So it would be pretty crazy. But anyway, that's just wishful thinking. Check it out, people. We got how do you pronounce that? Java, the ultimate. I hate unsweetened tea. I like my sugar tea, but this shit is so good in the quality. It's black tea that I can drink it with no sugar. And look at that. What? Watermelon slices? Come on, man. What do you guys know about that? What do I know about that? Some people say, oh, well, you're a city slicker. You're from the West Coast. Dude, I've lived in a lot of places. And like I said in the past, I lived in San Antonio, Texas for, probably close to 8 years. I lived, matter of fact, I lived right off of, I can't remember, it's a long time ago. I lived off of Perrin Vital. I remember that. But anyway, my favorite place to go was Stone Oak. That's where my friend lived. I used to go golfing up there a lot, and before they moved the Valero Open golf course, used to be up there. They moved it to a different area. But anyway, and I used to go, I love Bernie. Bernie was a beautiful little town outside of San Antonio. Tapatio Springs, one of the oldest and most nostalgic golf courses. Man, I got to get back into golfing, but I'm too dedicated to this, man. Golfing's awesome. It's cool if you play it. Watching it, excuse my language, is like watching two flies fuck. But I don't have the time, a little bit of time that I get between, helping the, family out, especially with all this COVID-19 going on in California. It's probably one of the worst places to be, that, and, trying to get back in the swing of work and all that. So I barely have enough time to run my Nitro. And man, it's really frustrating. Well, I don't want to say it's frustrating, but it's tough because I got all these modded engines now, and I want to run them all. I want to get all those engines and just line them up and fire them up and just get them going. But, I just got to be patient. So, anyway, what we got here is we got Team Techno, people. What? Team Techno, that's right. We got the NT48.3 Truggy and the NT48.3 Buggy. So, these are the identical Buggy and Truggy of the same make. These are the NT48.3s. Now, I know they'll be coming out with I heard, and don't quote me on this, but I heard that the Techno Truggy probably won't be coming out till the beginning of next year. Who knows? With the way that RC is, they could release it before Christmas. I'm assuming that one of the big manufacturers, because TLR is already releasing the 8XT Truggy, that somebody's just gonna, they're going to have to steal their thunder, so to speak. So if Mugen comes out with a brand new Truggy within the next couple months before the end of the year, and Techno, forget it, man. And I'm not saying that the T is, you know, listen, if they learned anything, I mean anything from the 8X Chuggy, you know, and I have plenty of friends that have built them, close friends of mine, good friends of mine that have built them. Hopefully they corrected some of the things that they had issues with. There wasn't a lot, but anyway, I just, you know, for those of you that own Technos and own Mugins and Kyoshos and you know, top shelf notches, I mean top shelf whips, and you're getting it in a low-C buggy, a Chuggy, don't expect it to be like all this, you know. Matter of fact, like I said, if you think, and this is just my opinion, okay, like I said before, it's just an opinion, and I'm entitled to that. If you think, I mean, my personal feeling, a new low-C Chuggy compared to a Techno or a Mugen, laughable, not even close. I mean, you know, friends of mine that have both, you know, I don't, and I'm just not a low-C guy, except for the 5B, you know, and that's, like I said before, if it wasn't for DDM selling it, I wouldn't have probably got it, because I wouldn't have gave that much money to Horizon, because I can't stand them. And like I said in the past, you know, if you are a low-C person, and you're a full-on low-C guy, you know, I don't know how to say this, but just to say it, as long as Horizon owns TLR and low-C, which they do, you're fucked. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year that both of those nitros are discontinued. Now, am I wishing bad things on them? No. It's just that's their record. Horizon is not a hobby company. Go do the homework. Don't take my word. Go do your research and your homework. They're a distribution company. They don't give a flying fuck about anything but the dollars. Not the hobbyists, not the enthusiasts, not nobody. They're not putting any money. Even Mr. 111 said, it was on one of my videos. I'll show it to you another time. He even made a pretty bold and true statement saying that as long as Horizon isn't willing to dump, you know, a lot of money into racing and development, TLR and low-C will never be what it was. Like I said, when they kicked Adam Drake in the nuts, that was when they went downhill and never been the same, you know. And it sucks for guys like a Dakota Fenn, great racer. You know, I've watched that guy, and he's TQ'd so many races this year, but always falls short, man. He just doesn't have the support, you know. And does that mean that the 8XT Truggy or Buggy are bad vehicles? No, I don't have them, so I don't know. Like I said, I have friends of mine that have them. They really don't even run them. But compared to a Mugen or a Techno, I beg to differ. You know, I mean, if you want to go about just talking about racing, look in the standings. TLR is not even, I don't think TLR is even, I know they're not even in the top 10. So, Dakota Fenn's way back. He might be like 15th or something last time I checked. But anyway, you can go do your own research and check yourself. I'm just saying. So, anyway, all right, people. Well, let's fire this thing up. Okay, let's fire this baby up. Without further ado, now I want to give a special shout out to Family Affairs for teaching me how to tune. If it wasn't for Family Affairs, I wouldn't know how to tune. Matter of fact, he's pretty, I'm going to give him some props right here, man. If it wasn't for Family Affairs, I would never be able to tune this Red's engine. Never. So anyway, let's fire this up and see where we're at. Remember, a lot of your tune is going to depend on the temperature, ambient temperature. I know when it tends to be hotter like it is now, your stuff will want to run a little bit more lean. I was always wondering why that little hole, see that, can you guys see that pop out? That little hole's right there. See how it hits? You might want to make that bigger, but anyway. Here we are with the tune. Now, like I said, I don't normally recommend running on concrete, but I've got so many pairs of Badlands, and this blacktop isn't as bad. Like rough street concrete, I wouldn't recommend running on. Let's get her warmed up. Sounds a little lean on top. Let's get her warmed up a little bit. Now I usually warm up my engines, I preheat them to 200. See how it's kind of high right now? But it's like 130, 140, so. I don't think these dog people are going to really like me right now, but I was here first. I mean, if they ask me to move, I'm pretty courteous. I'll move, but they can easily go take their dogs and go someplace. This park is huge, so. See, it's idling kind of high, but it's not the idle, so. What I'll usually do is I'll start up at the top, at the low end needle. And go down like, I usually try to do in small increments. So I might go down like 10, 15 minutes. There's like 30 minutes right there. See what it does, just clear it out. Like I said in the past, I'm not trying to get too aggressive with the needles, especially when it's not even warmed up, but I'm going to lower it again. See what that does. Now, was I making a joke about how Family Affair taught me how to tune? Yes, I was. He claims I did. This engine, anyway. This is the R5R Team Edition modded by RB Mods. This engine's got about 11 gallons on it now, so it probably has the most fuel through it, with the exception of the RB modded 28.8 Rex Legend. might die. That's pretty low. See, now we're right about 203. So we'll clear it out. And we'll do the croduct test, the mic croduct test. But like I was saying, family affair, the only thing he ever mentioned to me or taught me is he said, when you're adjusting your low end, you got to compensate with your idle. Now, I don't really mess with the idle screw too much. Have I? Yes. And some people do, some people don't. I know Mr. Zaw, and I even watched a few videos, RW Mods, Rex Welch. He says sometimes, he goes, but normally he just leaves it at a certain setting. And mostly uses his low end adjustment. I mean, that's pretty low. It might quit. Turn it over, see where we're at. See how the idle didn't change? Now this is how you check your idle screw. If it cuts out, your idle screw's too low. Fine to me. Might be still a little rich on the bottom. One way to find out, like I said, the mic croduct test. Let it set. And yes, that is a single stage idle. I can do a single stage idle. Like I said, a single stage idle, excuse me, the only difference is between that and the two-stage, and I have some engines that just prefer a two-stage idle. And if it's normal, you know, that's what the gripe that I had of people saying that the two-stage idle, it's not wrong. Adam did say yes, the two-stage idle would be preferably, you know, a second stage, but he didn't say that the two-stage idle was wrong. These reds definitely give you probably one of the lowest and quickest two-stage idles that I've ever had. All my reds. Well, I've only ran 2 of them. I have the one that I'm still going to break in. By the way, if you didn't see, you seen that over there. Let's go check the fuel. But I think she's pretty dialed to me. See how it didn't like drop completely? Watch. See, it didn't drop like completely quick, like right down. I mean, I can get it to that if I want to adjust the idle a little bit more, but I think that's fine. It came to, you guys seen it, it came to a stop, and then the idle dropped, but not right away. It went, you know, I don't know if you noticed that. But it is still a little rich on the bottom. Don't hate the player, people. Hate the game. Proof's in the pudding. Talk's cheap. Like I said, don't let your ass, or I'm sorry, don't let your mouth write checks your ass can't cash. If anybody, you know who taught me how to tune? Shout out. His name used to be JT12, but his name is, he changed his name. It's RC Biker. I don't know if his name's JT, I'm not sure his real name, but shout out to RC Biker. That's the guy, whenever I had issues tuning, or whenever I had, you know, I got stuck on certain things, I always would go to his videos and watch his how to set the low speed needle right, how to make sure the high speed needle was right, and all that. So I learned more probably from that little British kid than anybody. And he's been around for a long time. So the real shout out goes to RC Biker, man. That guy has helped me so much. This grass is kind of thick, but we're going to rip it in here a little bit anyway. I'm going to try to find some thin spots of grass. These people are in my jump area over here, but they won't be there forever. Let's fill her up. I'm going to probably have to end up cleaning 2 whips today. But I wanted to do this because I want to run this. This is a badass, you know, well seasoned, broken in, balls are dropped. This thing's got, like I said, about 11 gallons through it. And I want to run this because going from even a badass modded .21 like this to this nasty beast right here. Look what we got right here, people. Look at, oh snaps. RCR modded, special modded P328 Pico. Ceramic bearings, the whole 9 yards, and brand new 2148 Triton pipe. We're running a 15 clutch bell on it. Just like I was running, same setup as I was running on the RCR modded 28 Rex and the TNS. So like I said, this is a late entry. We'll run this in a little bit. I'm going to probably finish running this. I have to idle. I talked to Lance. He recommends, even though this thing is brand new, just modded, I've already broken it in. So when you get an engine broken in and then it gets modded and you get it back, he recommends idling a couple tanks through it, and then it's good to go. It's ready to rip. So that's what we're going to do. I won't film the idling the 2 tanks. We're going to go run this some more, send it a few times, rip it around. The idle seems to be, it looks to be pretty dialed into me. Then I'll pause the video, and I'm hopefully going to tie it into this one somehow. I don't think I'm going to try to do 2 separate videos. I'll try to put them both together. If they're too long, then I'll separate them. So you'll see this one first, the Techno with the, by the way, the pipe that I'm running on here, that's the Pico. I love this pipe, and I decided to try this Pico pipe, the 2120, okay, with the Triton header. That's the Triton header. This thing, and it'll be interesting because I've never really ran a .21 modded like this and then ran a badass modded .28, so this is kind of a first time for me. Like I said, it would be the equivalent of running a, oop, too long. Anyway, it'd be the equivalent to running a 125 factory 2-stroke dirt bike. Then jumping on this frickin' 500cc 2-stroke beast. That's what the equivalent would be. So let's go rip the 125 for a minute, and then we're gonna rip the 500. So let's go rip the pea shooter. Oh good, they're moving. So we can send it now. You notice we got the beater body on it. Put some body clips on this baby. So, you know, am I saying if you don't have a modified engine, you know, I get a lot of that. You know, by the way, the people that do the most shit talking on YouTube, it's funny, are the people that don't even have a channel, don't even have a fucking picture on their whatever channel, and they want to talk all this shit. You know what? This is what the Muggy's got for those people. Quit running your mouth, and why don't you run your shit? If you're going to talk about it, be about it. Or shut the fuck up. I get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? It gets old. And you people know who you are. You're the ones that make all the stupid ass fucking comments or want to talk shit about the Muggy. Yet you don't even have a fucking channel. You don't even have a picture. You have a blank face. Like some fucking moron. Nobody wants to hear you. Oh! Too much brake on that one. Oh! Just like a cat, man. Always landing back on her feet. But you gotta find the this part right here is where it seems inclined the most. It's just the grass is still kind of thick, so it's hard to get some speed. But usually on these Technos, as long as the jump's not too awkward, you don't have to really tap the brake or hit the throttle. They jump pretty even. They're pretty balanced, man. Oh! Still landed on her feet. You know what's crazy is, I'm beginning to think, and somebody mentioned this, the old Techno tanks, like this one's an older one, I haven't replaced it yet, they're clunks. I've never had a clunk issue with the NT 48.3 buggy tanks. It's only the Techno Chuggies that I do. Trying to get this thing not as dirty because I'm going to have to clean 2 whips. She rips though. Oh no! Oh! Uh-oh. Let's see if she stays idle. Okay, well it ain't the walk of shame. She's still idling. That means my tune must be okay. This grass is thick out here though, man. You guys can see it. No bueno for buggies, man. Chuggy, different story. Uh-oh. How are we on fuel? Alright, so, yeah. Like I said, most of the people that want to talk shit out the side of their neck and out their ass, the ones that don't even have a channel. So my suggestion, get a life, get a channel, put up some footage, some running video, ranching, whatever, and then talk shit. So you don't get nothing. Right in that this grass here, you don't get shit. Barely got off the ground. It's mostly where this dirt patch is over here. So I'm getting the air. Just got to make sure I don't hit that hole right there. You guys see that hole? Don't want none of that. Okay, I'm going to do a right in my face. Try not to hit myself, but... See, she's running kind of rich. I don't run my modified engines too lean. Try not to anyway. I hope these kids don't come over here. Seems like every weekend these kids are up here. See, but even a modified badass engine like this Red's Team Edition, it doesn't do much. So you don't really have to tap the brake or hit the throttle on these things, man. Let's go top off again. This might have to be split up in 2 videos because I'm having fun with this thing, even though it is a pea shooter and a modified pea shooter, and it's a Red. So it's a Red, it's a modified, it's a pea shooter, but it's still a badass 12.21. And these Technos are so fun. So this will be the last little tank on this one. Then we're going to break in, we're going to idle 2 tanks through the Pico P3, and then we're going to rip this thing. So we're going to get into the 500s, people. So where are we at? Oh yeah, see this is, and it's about 100 out today. It's pretty hot. 276. I've had my Reds running. Oops, I've had my Reds. It is running. When you run it really rich, like I said before, it's going to load up. I'm going to lean it out just a little bit. But, like I said, I've had this Reds running before at, you know, close to 300. You know, as long as you're not 350, 400, that's different, but... Like I said, my low end's still kind of rich. Let's see where it's at. Because it's, like you've seen, it's like 270, 276. Might lean it a little more on the bottom. I think it's fine. Fine to me. Send it a couple more times. Burn this tank. This is where it gets dirty, in this dirt area. I would say that is a perfect race tune. I think Mike Croduct would be proud of me. Well, I hope Family Affair is. Remember, he's the one that taught me how to tune this red. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know how to tune or this red's engine. I mean, I can't thank Family Affair enough, man. Shout out to that guy, man. Didn't touch the brake or the throttle, man. The thing just well balanced. Alright, people, that is the Reds R5R Team Edition compliments of Rick Brake and RV Mods. The next engine that will be in this thing will be the new Reds R5R that was modded by RCR. Now we're going to compare, see who's who. And who's will be crowned the baddest black-headed Reds that I have. I'll even run it against the other one, which is pretty much stock, so. She is a beast, though. Let's hit that one more time. Oh, good. I thought it was going to land on it. I'm going to have to go chase it. Alright, people. Catch you on the next one. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Nitro is and always will be the true glory. But e-buggy does pay the bill. For some people. Not me, never me. So anyway, peace, I'm out. of the modded RCR P3 Pico .28 blue. We'll call her the Blue Beast. Sounds like a freaking beehive in there, people. Alright, give me 1 second. I don't know if you guys could hear the muggy. What up, Nitro Nation? We are out. I live in an apartment, okay, and for me to break in engines, it's kind of, I've done it, but it's difficult. My roommate bitches because I do it on the back patio and my plants, and so anyway. My dad said, hey, if you want to break in your engine, this is how cool my Pops is. You can go ahead and bring them out to the pad and break them in. Don't make a mess. So, I do not recommend this. I am a trained professional. Modified furnace. Modified R5R red. Probably going to be two of the baddest pea shooters that I run. Now, I've never done this before. I've seen people do it. I'm like, you know, long as you keep an eye on the temperatures, like I said, my disclaimer is, this is only what works for me. I agree with some people when they say, hey, you do what you want to do. You know, my only thing is, if you're going to tell people about certain things, or just let people know that, hey, you know what, this is just what I do. This is what works for me. Even though I'm really, in actuality, telling the factory people that they don't know what the fuck they're doing in Italy, okay? When they put a plug in it, because people ask me, what plugs do you run to break it in? Do you change it? I've got that argument a lot of times. I run the plug that comes in it from the factory, and I've done that with all 20 of my engines, okay? But like I said, you do what you want. I just don't recommend it. Whatever the plug comes in, if it doesn't come with a plug, find out, you know, by somebody with experience what they recommend. Okay? And like I said, bottom line is you do what you want. Just make sure you tell people, you know, as long as you tell people, listen, this is just what I do. I don't recommend this. I don't recommend breaking in two engines at once. When, actually, one, the Virtus is already broken in, so I'm only idling 2 tanks. The Reds is going to get 4 tanks through it because it's brand new. This is the first tank. We're getting low, so I got to keep an eye on them. Man, my eyes are starting to burn. I can't be in here too long. Now, what's cool about the Reds? Oh, by the way, we have 2 special guests. The brothers decided to see the birth of their new brother, because this is a birth. It's being born for the first time. See, and also, remember, It'll change as it gets broken in, so. I don't want it that high. Well, I think we're low on fuel on that one. Another thing, modified engines, okay, they burn up fuel quick. This one, the Vertus I'm not running is rich because, oh shoot, dang it, sorry about that. Oh shit, you guys still there? I'm running so rich I got freaking, my hands are all greasy from all these, let me set the camera there so you guys can see. I tell you what, this modded Vertus is nasty sounding. You hear it. I can't wait to run this thing. Remember, this is RCR modified Vertus. This is a 7-port. The stock one I have is a 9-port. This one's going to be a nasty little mother. Like I said, I don't recommend breaking into two engines at the same time. This one I don't have to worry about too much keeping the heat to 200. Lance told me just idle 2 tanks through it because it's already been broken in at the factory, so. It's still running about 233, which is fine. I try to keep my engines around 250. Remember, I was told by 2 different modifiers, heat is your friend. To a certain extent. Alright people, man, it's hard to, I gotta scream because you can't hear anything. These things are so loud. But yeah, like I said, I don't recommend breaking in 2 engines at the same time. I'm only doing it because this engine just needs 1 more tank. I'm gonna idle through it. And then, it's good to go. We'll put some 30% in it. Do a little box tune, and maybe, I don't know if I'm going to run this one today because like I told you guys just finished watching me rant a little bit, rip a little bit, show you that, I don't know how to say this because
I don't know, it just gets old. Like I said, I think I'm going to title this video, Don't Hate the Player, Hate the Game. Okay, I learned how to tune from a lot of different people. Sometimes my tune is better than, you know, some days it's not perfect. I'm not perfect, you know. But I do know how to tune. Like, you guys seen it. I don't have to. Proof is in the pudding. You know. You know. Pictures, what do they say? Pictures is worth 1,000 words. So, I just showed you a perfect race tune on this vehicle here. Where is it? I'll show you. This vehicle here, which is the NT 48.3. Oh, another thing. I used to think that well, I wasn't sure. My NB 48. Sorry, there's a glitch in the matrix, people. As I was saying, there's the Techno NB 48.3 buggy, 48.4 buggy, and there's a 48.4 2.0, which I'm thinking about maybe getting. The 2.0, I remember talking to one of the guys that raced for Techno, and I asked him, what's the big difference in the 48.4 and the 48.4 2.0? So the 2.0, they changed pretty much everything. It's completely different from what I understand. So we'll see. But yeah, so there is like I said, a 48 point, an NB 48.3, 48.4, and a 48.4 2.0. So I had a bunch of people ask me the different Technos, because I remember somebody said that the 48.4 was the newest. No, it's not. The 48.4 2.0 is the newest. So anyway, oh, hold that thought. Some knuckle tip, okay, with a phone camera. I don't even have, well, I have my GoPro, but that thing's, you know, ancient. So, by the way, if you're wondering, this is the MP9 TKI4 modified Virtus RCR. We're going to idle one more tank through it. I just filled it up. I'm going to idle one more tank through it, and then it's good to rip. Not so much worried about keeping temps up, because this thing is broken in from the factory. Novarossi broke this Virtus in. It has a .80 millimeter shim stack, which most Virtuses, the two I got anyway, come with. I'll probably later bring it down to a 60, because these things are made for off-road, so you have tons of top end. I don't need tons of top end, even though I like top end. I'm more of the bottom and mid, punchy, snappy, brappy type person. Is how I like my power. Just like when I rode dirt bikes, man. The power band, top end, screaming, pegging the throttle. Yeah, that's cool, you know. But I'd rather just have that whoop, 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 whoop. That just that whoop, 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 bah, bah, bah. My sound effects. I sound like Eastside. Shout out to Eastside, man. That guy's got a lot of guts. Prayers and to go out to that guy, because I know he gets a lot of flack, you know. So reminds me of me. But anyway, I thought it was funny. I was watching Mr. Zod, to get off track, watching Mr. Zod's last video, and how he was talking that he was saying basically that the TMR performance engines are turds. They're a big turd. And I don't know what all went on with that. So I really don't care. You know, I've got enough idiots that I got to deal with in 8-scale nitro. So anyway, but I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the FT. You know what was funny? It's funny because I am so glad I didn't get one of those roving FTs. I was so close to getting one. First of all, they're ugly as sin. Second of all, those things break a lot of shit. So, you know, people want to talk shit about me and talk, well, not much about me, and I even heard people talk shit about the 5Bs. Man, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Excuse my language. By the way, this is definitely R-rated, not for children. But that FT, it seems like every time I see that thing run, it's always breaking shit. Maybe that person should have got a real fifth scale, which is a 5B. And that's not just coming from me. That's coming from DDM, OBR. You can ask a lot of guys that the 5B is, you know, pretty much one of, if not the baddest fifth scale ever made. So anyway, I just thought that video was kind of funny because how Mr. Za was talking all that smack, you know, but, you know, he can. He's, you know, got, you know, the proof and evidence and all that. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, so my disclaimer is, this is how I break in. I use 2016 Byrons. As long as I can get Byrons, which is still out there, I will continue. I've got plenty. I've got like 6 gallons of Byrons and probably a gallon or 2 of 2016 and like 6 gallons. Most of it's in quarts because gallons are hard to find and they're more to ship. Quarts is cheaper to ship. But anyway, when people tell me, you know, well, have you ever tried this plug and that plug, and, you know, hey, like I said, I use the plug that came in the engine. I don't try to second guess an Italian engineer that designed these engines and put this plug in here for a reason, okay? But, like I said, everybody, you know, to each their own. Do what you want to do. Long as you, like I said, long as you have a disclaimer, so you're not misleading newbies, and they're thinking, oh, let me put this kind of plug, let me put that kind of plug. You know what? I run Novarosi 5s in all of my Novarosi engines. Some of them, a couple have 6s, but the majority of them have 5s. And on my Reds engines, I run the TS4s in all of my Reds engines. I don't run 3s. That's too hot for me, for my liking. If that's what you like, then that's fine. Like I said, whatever floats your boat, to each his own. Long as people, whenever they do their own unorthodox way of certain things, they just put out, you know, hey, this is only what works for me. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend anything that I do. All I'm telling you guys is this is what works for me. I don't recommend switches. I don't recommend nothing. I just say, hey, you know what? I don't use switches because I've had too many runaways because of a switch. If you've never had a runaway because of a switch, then by all means, keep using them. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So, anyway, you guys seen the video, a little bit of, I fired up that P3 Pico 28. That thing is nasty. I actually got to run it a little bit, but it was getting dark. I couldn't see it that well. I felt like Mr. Za. When have you ever seen that video when he just couldn't, he had to get a tune on his modded 28.8, and he was not settling for less. And he went into that and ran in that parking lot at night. That's how I felt last night. I was going to run the Pico for the first time. And now let me tell you, when you guys see the next video coming up after this one of the Pico, man, that thing is a nasty, nasty engine. And it's not even broken in. Keep that in mind. When you're watching these engines, they will not display their full power till around 5 gallons. The balls on stock or modded engines don't drop till around 5 gallons.